What's up, you guys? It's a new week, and I bet you're like, Michelle, why are you in the kitchen? I always feel like y'all made me wonder, like, what do I be doing? This episode is in the kitchen. You can see my chips. If you don't eat the Kettle brand potato chips at Whole Foods, this is Backyard Barbecue, and then Jalapeño. Go get you some of these. If you're a person who's into calories, it's 230 calories per bag. I guess if you count them. I don't really count, but if you like chips, I'm not a big chip eater, but I do like chips with a sandwich on occasion, so I always try to keep one little bag, two little bag there. But this episode's in the kitchen because I'm just in the kitchen at the time. There's really no special like explanation at all other than that I'm in the kitchen. And you know, this week I was kind of like perplexed on what to talk about, right? Because I was like, man, there's a lot of things I could talk about. But as of recently, we're going to talk about a comment that Ryan Clark made about the comparison of George Pickens and Justin Jefferson. And a lot of people are kind of uptight about it. They're kind of mad. So that's what some of this episode, if not majority of it, is going to be about. So let's get into it. So if you're not familiar with the comments that Ryan Clark made, he pretty much doubled down and said that he believes that George Pickens is more physically gifted and more talented in the essence of, I guess, just pure ability than Justin Jefferson. But he did say that he believes that Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in football. Simple as that. He does believe that. But he did say Pickens is bigger, taller, stronger, more physical, physically gifted, faster, more explosive, jumps higher. All of these things are physical attributes that he's saying. He just believes that Pickens is more physically gifted of a player. And that doesn't mean that he'll ever be what Justin Jefferson is right now, which for a lot of people is arguably the number one receiver in the league. He then doubled down and kind of made the example of Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, that Aaron Rodgers came into the league physically more gifted, you know, and that Tom Brady wasn't necessarily physically gifted, but it doesn't take away that Tom Brady is the GOAT, right? So I guess that's what he felt. Now, the problem that some people had with that is that how can you say that about someone who probably has had some of the best 3-year start we've ever seen in a wide receiver ever? Like, we haven't seen it like this. So it's kind of interesting because out of the 3 seasons that Justin Jefferson has been in the league, we're talking about 324 catches for 4,825 yards. That's just in 3 seasons, you guys. That's not normal, right? So I see why everyone's upset. Like, Ryan Clark, how could you say this? This is crazy. This is blasphemous. We're seeing the material. But I'm going to be honest. I get what he's saying. Because if you kind of go back to when Justin Jefferson was at LSU, everybody wasn't talking about Jefferson like that. Nobody was saying like, man, he's just physically out there doing it. Like, I want us all to be honest for a second. Y'all was not sitting there, even LSU fans, y'all wasn't sitting there like, man, he's just the guy. Y'all weren't saying that. Y'all were not saying that because physically he wasn't at the time. We saw glimpses, but it wasn't like undeniable. This dude is fast. He's strong. He's big. The best thing about Justin Jefferson that has been consistent is his route running. We knew that he's one of the best route runners we've seen. That's what stood him apart from a lot of people in college. But then they get Joe Burrow. I'll even use an example. When people used to compare Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, more people leaned towards Jamar Chase because what would they say? He's just more physically gifted. They felt like he was bigger. They even felt like he was faster. Be real. Be real. Nobody was sitting here saying, man, Justin Jefferson is just physically that guy. But we appreciated his work ethic. We appreciated that he perfected his route running. Then it came on later on. It's like, wait a minute. He's getting out of these routes kind of fast. Like, there has to be some speed to this thing. Okay, he is kind of tall. People then started to look at the physical attributes, but y'all wasn't looking at that initially, which I think is what Ryan Clark is saying. And obviously he doesn't need any defending. We're just breaking it down here because it's a big topic. But I think he's more just saying off first glance, off first initial reaction, nobody was just saying that Justin Jefferson is physically gifted and that he believes George Pickens, in the essence of it, is more physically gifted because that's all he named was physical attributes. He didn't say he run routes better than him. It's all physical, faster, stronger, bigger. And some of these things are true in a sense because George Pickens is a dog. But like he said, he's not saying that George Pickens could even remotely close to do what Justin Jefferson is doing right now, but off physical glance, talent, just initial raw talent and physical attributes, George Pickens has it. I kind of agree with him. That does not take away Justin Jefferson, though. Because if we being real, again, we all got to be honest with each other. Because I promise you, the quicker we are all honest with each other, the better off we'll be. I'm just being honest. Because I look at it, and I look at it like this. I feel like people didn't appreciate Justin Jefferson's ability till the season of them winning the national championship. I also think people didn't understand how physically gifted he is until the combine. Y'all can say I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. It was a big deal because I'm reading it. He ran a 4.43. It's a reason why his name is Jay Jettas. A jet's pretty fast. You see what I did there? I'm just saying, a lot of things didn't come to our forefront about Justin Jefferson's physical attributes until later, in which I think that's why Ryan Clark is saying, in a sense, George Pickens is just more physically gifted. And that's okay. I think sometimes we get wrapped up in the technicalities that we feel like if you're saying someone's more physically gifted than another, you're saying that he's better than the other. And that's not always true, right? It's just really, the Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady thing really is a good comparison. Aaron Rodgers, off first glance, is more physically gifted, but it doesn't mean that he's better than Tom Brady. It just is a difference, right? And again, it's undeniable. Justin Jefferson's number one wide receiver in this league. We can't take away the stats. We're talking about 1,000-yard seasons. That's not easy to come by. We're talking about insane catches. That's not easy to do. His route running is pristine. And he is fast. Like, the physical attributes are there. But off first glance, you can't deny. George Pickens is. He's bigger. He's stronger. But it doesn't take away that Jay Jettas is still that guy. So I think sometimes we get upset because our favorite players and things of that nature. But some of it is true what Ryan Clark is saying. But again, if you look at it physically, it's not crazy what he's saying when you're looking at physical attributes. But just the game of football, like, we really looking at who would I want on my team if I had the choice, George Pickens or Jay Jettas. Of course we're picking Justin Jefferson. That's undeniable. No question about it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. About a week or two ago, maybe 2 weeks, I was highly, highly critical of the USA basketball team. And I even went as far enough to say, maybe they need to call over some guys from the select team. That's how I felt from the clips that I saw. And since then, I've seen some exhibition matches of our USA national team. And my opinion has changed a little bit. First game I seen them play, I felt like they lacked on defense. The intensity wasn't there. I did see glimpses, though, that Austin Reeves is going to be a big factor of helping them. Anthony Edwards is going to blossom. Like, I truly believe this is Anthony Edwards' year. Like, I actually will double down and say I believe that this might be his MVP season. It's things to his game that weren't there last year that you're like, yeah, he's there. And when you hear other guys talk about, like Bruce Brown said, he was like, we were more worried about the Timberwolves. And he was like, Ant's that guy. You could just tell. And obviously playing USA basketball always helps, I think, you to see like the individual games of guys. And he's there. I'm looking at Jalen Brunson. He's been playing pretty better. The more I look at them, the team is very solid. I do think that they may face challenges, though. I don't think scoring is an issue. I think they have multiple layers of scoring on the bench and for starters. Defense is what worries me. And if you kind of seen the Redeem Team documentary on Netflix, that was a big emphasis for them as well, was defense. It wasn't scoring that was really the problem for them. Maybe it was learning who needs to attack and do their thing and score when they need to, but it was all defense. Because a lot of these other teams around here, they are defensively sound. They can't match up with you scoring wise, but defense is where you really are going to have to be able to win and take home the gold because of your defense. That's something that is still a concern for me with USA. I've seen them honestly get better. Every exhibition match I've seen, read about, they have gotten better defensively. Obviously, it just takes that chemistry that you have to build with the core group of guys. But a little bit of my concern is going away. So I want to take it back that I was so highly critical of them and that I kind of was losing hope a little bit. But I'm back. I'm back now. They've checked me. I've watched it. I see that we will be okay. I still wonder, is it too late for Steph Curry to say he wants to play in the Olympics? That's all I want to know. Is it too late for these guys to say that they want to play? I don't know what like the limit is like on the timing, but I just wonder, like, is it too late for Steph Curry? Who else can I think of? Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker. Is it too late for these guys to say, hey, I want to be on the team? I just, that's an actual general question. I don't know how the timing works because I would like to know. I'm just asking. I think what we have is good though, but like, man, we could take it a step further, right? So that's just a general question. Is it too late for them to, I guess, apply to be able to be on the team? We got time. We got, what, a year? Year before the Olympics? Okay. Maybe a few months, really, because we're almost in 2024. We'll talk about that another day. But, yes, I take back how critical I was because I'm okay. I'm all right. I do think Anthony Edwards may be the funniest player I don't think we've ever met a player like Anthony Edwards. It's because he has so many funny moments and they're genuinely him being himself that it makes it funny. And I'm talking about the most recent clip of him they're in practice and he goes up for a dunk and he tells Jaren Jackson Jr., hey, jump, ain't you the defensive player of the year? And then runs back down the court. The funniest part of it is I feel like he was genuinely asking JJJ, like, aren't you the defensive player of the year? Like, it was a genuine question. I think he was more shocked. Like, you ain't gonna jump with me? Like, I don't even think he was trying to be funny. I think he was for real like, what you got the trophy for if you ain't gonna jump? So that was funny. But yeah, I think we'll be okay. I still want to know, is it too late for a few others to join? It's just a general question, but I think we'll be all right. Yeah, so I sat down. I started to get a little winded. You ever be like standing and talking? He'd be like, whew, I need to make sure I go for a walk, get that endurance, that stamina up. But neither here nor there. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something that I did yesterday, because today is Saturday when I'm filming this. I have made it my mission to go to more high school football games in Los Angeles. I've been in LA for 3 years now. And I love high school football. Truly, it's really fun. Like, when I lived in Lafayette, I got to cover high school football, and I always enjoyed it. During the internship I had at a news station, I was able to go to high school football games, and then getting to cover and write for a newspaper and cover high school football. It's always fun for me. If someone ever asked me, like, why do I like high school football more, I think it's, in a way, like, some of the purest form of sport, I think, is high school, because these kids are really playing because they enjoy it and they love it. And then you do have those moments where it's just like they're just incredibly gifted and it's fun to watch. You know, obviously it's not the highest level of competition, but it is fun to watch to me. I love the atmosphere of high school football. I've always loved it. Some of it probably has to do with like the school that I went to in Shreveport that just, like, who wouldn't like football? So, like, again, I'm biased, right? And out of the 3 years that I've been here, I've never been to a high school football game in Los Angeles. Like, at all. Because the first year when I moved here, we were in the pandemic. And nope, I didn't go then. Then, like, kind of towards that second year, I was really, like, getting done with grad school and stuff. I didn't make an effort to go to catch some games even that year. And now we're in the third year, and I was like, man, I have to change this because I love being in that atmosphere. It's so much fun. You go to a high school football game because a part of you, I think it's like nostalgia. You start feeling like you're back in high school a little bit, and it reminds you of how fun it is to, on a Friday, go to a game with your friends, and then, like, after y'all go to Canes or something, like, you relive that because, again, it's fun. Their energies are high. They really are playing because they love it. All the other stuff isn't necessarily in it just yet. So I have made it my mission now that I'm going to try to go to a high school football game every Friday if I can, which most of the time I can. If other things happen, I still want to try to go. That's the goal. And yesterday, I was able to go to my first high school football game in LA. Ain't that something? And I went to see St. John Bosco versus Liberty High School in Nevada. And, you know, I was interested because I wanted to see the differences in how I feel like high school football is played in the South and how high school football is played in the West Coast. And again, I'm biased, right? I'm biased to a fault, and I'm okay with admitting that. I just feel like high school football in the South, the players are different. I think it's more feisty. I think it's just more aggressive. I think it's more explosive in a sense. I think a lot of high school football in the South is like really pure talent, like just crazy talented kids that go out there and just the crowd, the atmosphere. It's just so competitive like that. You feel it like, and I love that. And what I have noticed with West Coast, just from the first game yesterday, and obviously that will change the more games I go to. There might be rivalries that makes it different. Teams could be vastly better. But this game was interesting to me because what I do realize with St. John Bosco, because they won 42-22, these quarterbacks, I believe, in the West Coast, high school wise, are very mature. Very mature in terms of the throws that they're making, the adjustments they make at the line. Just, God, it's so pro style. It really is so pro style. That kind of shocked me. I was like, okay. Like, for St. John Bosco, their quarterback Sanchez, I just feel like he was doing these crazy kind of throws that I'm like, man, there's no way that he should be able to make this kind of throw in high school. Like, it just was different. I think, like, in Louisiana, a lot of quarterbacks are able to run the ball first, not necessarily just have this elite pocket presence. But, man, he had it. And then I had to, go through my research. I was like, man, what other quarterbacks have came out of California? And the first one that came in my mind was Bryce Young. And I was like, man, what high school did he go to? And, like, when I looked it up, let me see. He went to Mater D, which is a high school in California. And they're, like, a top school in California. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Then I was like, let me look up C.J. Stroud. I'm telling you, I started looking up all this stuff. He went to Rancho Cucamonga High School. That's California. I'm like, man, I really do think it's like pro style. Like, it really is. Like, I'm looking up all types of people now. I'm like, top quarterbacks that come out of California. Like I was kind of interested in that. So I will say this though, defensively, I don't think they're as feisty as I'm used to. They're very smart though. So again, quarterbacks that come out of California, Tom Brady. We could really stop right there. Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's crazy. What high school did Tom Brady even go to? The fact that I'm about to go down a rabbit hole with you guys, because I'm like, he went to Junipero Serra High School. I don't even know where that is in California. And then Aaron Rodgers went to Pleasant Valley High School. Either way it goes, these California quarterbacks, yeah, offensively, it's a pretty mature offense. Again, defensively, I don't feel like it's there just yet. I think I'm so used to, again, aggressive. I feel like in the South, you have more aggression at the line, more blitzes. Your D tackles are really good. Your defensive ends are really good. And then you have really fast corners. Your linebackers are very engaged. That lacked a little to me watching St. John Bosco and Liberty High School. But I am interested to see how these other schools utilize their defenses, and it's going to get better the more we go, right? Like, it's fun to see it because I do see a difference. Like, they tailgate. I will say that. They tailgate. They had some vibes. They had some music. They had the food. The St. John Bosco student section was in it. They was in it. So, like, it's cool. It's cool. Like, I think it's going to be fun to see the differences the more we go, like, because I'm taking y'all with me. The more we go to these games and see, like, because I really want to go to a rivalry. Like, I want to go to a homecoming game where I can really see the vibes. Like, you know, I want to see competition. I want to see a closer game. Like, again, this was really like a blowout in a sense. St. John Bosco won by 20. But it's fun. I tell everyone, if you ever want to fall back in love with, like, just the art of sport and competition, I always believe a high school game can always restore that feeling for you, whatever sport that is, like volleyball, basketball, football, track. Like, you go to these high school games and you just remember how pure it is at that point, how these kids have just so much excitement to them, so many hopes and dreams, and you get to see that. So if you ever have time, go catch a local high school game wherever you live. Like, it will restore that feeling for you, and you'll just be like, man, like, this is fun. Like, because it is fun. It's not none of that extra stuff yet. Like, and that's, again, this is why I also tell people I like collegiate football a little bit more than the NFL because of just the levels. When you get to NFL, it's the best of the best. The games are great. Don't get me wrong. I'm watching them, but it's just that purity level to it. I guess college is a little different now because the NILs and the money, but that's well deserved if you ask me, because these colleges are making billions. It's $1 billion corporation, the NCAA. So, like, I'm not mad about that. But, again, I do think when you watch collegiate football on a Saturday, just the crowds, the energy, like, that's something special, seeing those rivalries. And then, of course, Sunday's good, but it's like special games in the NFL that you watch and then you're into it, right? Like, it's just different. So that's what I have been doing now every Friday, but I've only done it once. So I'll have an update next week of how our second game goes and who we pick. I'll try to. I don't even know what I want to base my search off of, but we're gonna see what other home games we could go to next week and see what high schools will be highlighting then. But it's been fun, like, going to the first one. So y'all should do that too if you ever have time. Like, just go catch a high school football game, see how these kids are playing. It's fun to watch. All right, you guys, that's all I got for you this week. Thank you always for watching and taking the time to even watch me. Like, it's not dawned on me. Like, I think all the time, like, people are busy. You guys are busy. Like, everyone has jobs. Everyone has stresses and worries in this life. So for you to even take time, even if you're not here the entire conversation, but you're here for a little bit, I always appreciate it. So I hope that that's never lost on you guys, how much I am thankful for you and your support. Like, honestly, because this is fun for me. And I hope that the passion that I have for it maybe helps you with your passion in life, that whatever it is that you really want to do that just keeps you up, like, it's just the joy of what you love to do. I hope that you're able to do that too and share it with the world. So again, thank you guys every week. I appreciate you. And man, I just hope that in the last few months of this year, we all do the things that we love. Like, whatever that is, create it, share it, release it. Everything not going to be great in the beginning. Like, that's just life, right? But it will bring you joy to know that you aren't going to live in fear of the things that you really want to do in this life. And you're not going to live in fear of your passions and the things that you just enjoy so much doing. So, like, don't be selfish and hold it to yourself because of fear, you know? Like, don't feel like you can't share it because it might be lame, or like you think people gonna look at you weird, or like think you doing too much or whatever. That's just fear. That's just fear inside of you that you don't even need. Believe that what it is that you love and that you know that you have a passion for is meant for you to be in that space to create in some way, shape, form, or fashion that you desire. So don't think like you can't do it or people will look at you differently. Like, I hope that towards the end of this year, we all just take steps forward to the things that we love doing that put a smile on our hearts, that light a fire in our stomachs to want to create more, and your creative juices are flowing, and you're excited to do the things and the projects and the content. I hope towards the end of this year, you just release it, put it out there, see what happens. And hopefully you find like a little bit of energy to say, I'm going to bring what I'm doing at the end of this year into next year. So much can change in a year. So that's just me encouraging y'all, because I am encouraged every week that you guys tune into me. So hopefully this is an exchange of energy, in a sense, that you taking the time to watch me, and that encourages me, that I'm able to also encourage you, and that we're encouraging each other on this thing. So I hope and pray that you allow God to move through you, whatever it is that you're trying to do, that you feel encouraged, that God gave you that dream, that idea, that passion for a reason. And it's meant to be out there into the world and to see yourself hone in on it and love it and nurture it and see what happens. Everything not gonna work the first time. And that's fine. That's fun. It, like you figure out little things, but as long as you're trying. So I hope that you try more towards the end of this year, and that you have no fear about it, that you just go out and you do the thing. And I hope that God gives you more ideas, more dreams, more purpose, more passion, just that he just overflows you with so much excitement to do these things and create, that you can't do nothing else but do it. So that's my hope for y'all. Again, thank you guys for tuning in every week. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share on all platforms. Tell your daddy, tell your mama, tell your cousin, tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your cousin that's not really your cousin, but you still call him cousin. So tell everybody to come to the channel. If you have some things that you want to talk about, topics, hit me up in the comments and we'll try to get to it next week. Follow me on all platforms. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I don't get on Facebook, but I do have a profile. If you want to go there, totally fine. But again, love you guys. Thank you guys. And I will be seeing you next week.